Hey awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another Bannerlord video. In this one we're going to be talking about cunning skills, scouting, tactics, and roguery. Be talking about some of the perks that you might want to pick in them if you do pick those focus trees. But before we get started, I just want to remind that if we can get to 575 subscribers by Christmas, we'll be doing $25 gift card giveaway. And if you have a subject that you want me to do a video on Bannerlord or a few other games, do let me know down in the comments. But with that said, I do also stream on Kick. To check it out, link is down in the description. And I do have my own Discord, link is also there. And I do have channel membership. You know, if you want to help support the channel, it's only 99 cents. But with all that said, let's get into it. We will be talking about gunning skills, like I said. We'll start with scouting. And, well, one of the first things you have, which is level 25, is day travel, which gives you plus 2% travel speed during daytime. And for scout, it's 10% sight range during daytime in campaign map. And nighttime runner, plus 5% travel speed during nighttime and plus 30% sight range during nighttime in campaign. Personally, I pick daytime runner. Yes, it's slightly less travel speed and sight range, but most of the game time is daytime, so you definitely want to pick that. At 50, you have Pathfinder, which is plus 2% travel speed on steppes and plains. And for party leader, it's plus 50% daily chance to increase relations with a notable by 1 when you enter a town. Or you have Winter Diviner, is plus 10% sight range while traveling on steeps and plains, and plus 50% daily chance to enter, or sorry, not Winter, Water Diviner, plus 50% daily chance to increase relation with the notable by 1 when you enter a village. I personally take Pathfinder, just because, why not, you know? I want more travel speed, not sight range. And because scouting, once you get it higher, you get more track detection radius, max track difficulty that you can detect, spotting distance, and track information level. Now at 75, you get Desert Born, which is plus 5% travel speed on desert and dunes. And for Governor, it is plus 2.5% tax income from governed settlements. You know? The perks that I take for myself will also be for the Scout, just in case you're wondering. Or you have Forest Skin, which is minus 50% travel speed penalty from forest if your party is compromised of 75% or more infantry units. And for Governor, it's plus 10% income from villages bound to governed settlements. Now, if you're more infantry based, take Forest Skin. If not, take Desertborn. I know desert and dunes is not much, but if you're fighting Azerai or you're Azerai, this will help you. For Governor, I take the 2.5% tax income from government settlements when Desertborn. Now at 100, you have Forced March, which is plus 2.5% travel speed when party morale is higher than 75. And for party leader, it's plus 2 experience per day to all troops while traveling with a party morale higher than 75. We have Unburden, minus 20% overburden penalty, and party leader is plus 2% experience per day to all troops while traveling while overburden. Take Force March, because in the later stages you'll have more than 75 morale, more speed. Overburden helps, but not really. No, so I usually don't take it. At 125, you have Ranger, which is plus 20% track spotting distance, and plus 10% track detection chance. Or you have Tracker, plus 20% track visibility duration, and plus 2% travel speed while following hostile party. I usually take Tracker, just because when we're at war, it will be hostile party, so getting that 2% travel speed is nice, so I take that. At 150, you have Manta Scouts, which is plus 10 sight range when your party is compromised more than 50% cavalry troops, and for party leader, plus 5 party size limit. And other one is Patrols, is plus 5 battle morale against bandit parties, and for party leader, it's plus 10% advantage against bandits when troops are sent to confront the enemy. I take Mounted Scouts. No, it's just better. At 175, you have Beast Whisper. It's plus 5% chance to find a mount while traveling through steeps and plains. For party leader, plus 10% carry capacity from pack animals. Or you have Forager, which is minus 10% food consumption while traveling through steeps and forest, and minus 15 disorganized state duration for party leader. Well, I usually take Beast Whisper just for getting some mounts. You can get lucky and find a really high noble mount, so that's pretty good. Right? At 200, you have Rumor Network, which is minus 5% trade penalty within cities of your own kingdom, and Scout plus 30% hideout detection range. Or you have Village Network, which is minus 10% trade penalty with villages of your own culture and plus 10 village party size of village bound to governed settlements. Governor. I usually take Rumor Network, but both of those is kind of whatever, to be honest. At 225, you have Keen Sight, which is minus 50% sight penalty for traveling forest, and for party leader is minus 50% chance of prisoner lords escaping from your party. Or you have Vantage Point, plus 25% sight range when stationed for at least an hour, and plus 10 party prisoner limit. I take Keen Sight because that 50% chance of prisoner lords from escaping your party is massive, and if you combine it with the riding Manta patrols, you make it to where enemy lords will never escape. So that's why Keen Sight is better. At 250, you have Rear Guard, which is plus 20% wounded troop recovery speed while in army, and plus 10% damage by troops when are sent to defend your siege camp. And then you have Vanguard, plus 2% damage by your troops when they're sent as attackers, and plus 10% damage by your troops when they're sent to sally out. Well, honestly, both of them are whatever, but I would probably take Rear Guard, but I never gotten that high in scouting. So at 275, you have Uncanny Sights, or Uncanny Insight, which is plus 0.1 party speed for every skill point above 200 scouting skill. Pretty nice, but good luck getting that on the scout. It will take you a while, right? Let's talk about tactics. Tactics will help you when you send out troops. You simulate the battles where you don't directly command. Give you simulation advantage and decreases the sacrifice troops number when trying to get away. So at 25 you get loose formations, plus 10% damage to your infantry from ranged troops when troops are sent to confront an enemy. Sorry, it's hard to read sometimes. For captain, it's minus 25 morale penalty when troops in your formation use line, loose, circle, or scatter formations. Or you have tight formation, which is for party leader plus 10% damage by your infantry to cavalry when troops are sent to confront the enemy. And for captain, it's minus 25 morale penalty when troops in your formation use shield wall, square, skein, column formation. This is a term where if you have a lot of infantry, tight formation might be better. If you have a lot of archers, loose formation. At 50, you have Decisive Battle, plus 5% damage in plains, steeps, and deserts when your troops are sent to confront an enemy. For captain, is plus 5% damage by troops in your formation in plains, steeps, and deserts. We have Extended Skirmish, which is plus 10% damage in snowy and forest terrains when troops are sent to confront an enemy. And for captain, is plus 2% movement speed to troops in your formation in snow and desert forest, or in snow and forest terrains. Depending where you fight is what you want to do. If you fight in more open areas, like plains, steeps, and sometimes desert, decisive battle is huge. If you're fighting in forest and snow, extended skirmish. Or skirmish. Excuse me. At 75, you have Horde Leader, which gives you plus 10 party size, and for Army Commander, minus 5 army cohesion loss to commanded armies. Then you have Small Unit Tactics, plus 1 troop to hideout crew. And for Captain, plus 5% movement speed to troops in your formation when there are less than 15 soldiers. Honestly, Captain, that's the only one, but normally I take Horde Leader for that party size. So always better to have more troops. And then at 100, you have Coaching, plus 3% damage when your troops are sent to confront an enemy. For Captain, plus 1% damage by troops in your formation. And then you have Lawkeeper, which is plus 10% damage against bandits when your troops are sent to confront an enemy. And then plus 4% damage against bandits by troops in your formation. Honestly, just simulating battles, Lawkeeper will not be bad, at least at the start, but normally you want Coaching. Because bandit troops you will start fighting and they'll be not as rewarding. At 125 you have Improviser. No morale penalty for disorganized state in battles, in salliad, or when being attacked. Then minus 25% loss of troops when breaking into or out of settlements under siege. Then you have Swifter Group, which is minus 15% disorganized state during duration when Raider Siege is broken. And then you have minus 50% troops left behind when escaping battles. Honestly, I've never really used both, but Improviser might not be bad. At 150, you have Call to Arms, which is plus 10% movement speed to parties called to your army if you're the army commander, and another army commander perk, which is minus 15 influence required to call parties to your army. Or you have On to March, minus 20% fortification bonus to enemies when troops are sent to confront an enemy. For Governor, plus 20 fortification bonus to govern settlement. Governor, you obviously take this, but normally I would say Call to Arms, so you have less influence that are required to call. It won't really be much of an issue if you're a kingdom, unless you call armies consistently. And then 10% movement speed to other parties will allow your army to get quickly built, to get all your lords in the army, and then you can continue to go about your business and conquer. At 175, you have Make Them Pay, which is plus 25% damage to defend their siege enemies. And for Governor, it is plus 25% damage to besieging siege engines. You have Pick 'em Off the Walls, plus 25% chance for dealing double damage to siege defender troops in siege bombardment. And then Governor, you have plus 25 chance for dealing double damage to besieging troops in siege bombardment of governed settlements. Honestly, for myself, for engineer, I would definitely take Make Them Pay, so you can get rid of the defender siege engines faster. But for Governor, Pick Them Off the Wall, so you can destroy enemy troops when they're sieging you. Right, at 200 you have Elite Reserves, which is party leader, minus 20% less damage to tier 3 plus troop units when troops are sent to confront an enemy. For Captain, minus 5% damage reduction to troops in your formation. Or you have Encirclement, party leader is plus 5% damage to outnumbered enemies when troops are sent to confront an enemy. And the Army Commander, minus 10% influence cost to boost your army cohesion. Army Commander, take that. If you're captain or want a captain, take that. But normally, honestly, none of them look too amazing. Elite Reserves probably my go-to. At 225 Besieged, party leader gives you plus 10% damage while besieging when troops are sent to confront an enemy. And personally, gives you plus 50% influence gain from winning sieges. Then you have Pre-Battle Maneuvers. For party member, it gives plus 25% influence gain from winning battles. Party leader, plus 1% damage per skill or per 100 skill difference when troops are sent to confront the enemy. Take the besieging. Excuse me, even though influence later will not be an issue. Not really, unless you want to stay as mercenary and get a lot more influence stacked. At 250, you have Counter-Offensive. Party leader gives plus 10% damage when troops are sent to confront the attacking enemy in the field battle. And then it gives plus 10% damage when troops are sent to confront the enemy while outnumbered. Or you have Gens d'Armes, which is for Captain, plus 2% cavalry damage to enemy infantry, and for Governor, plus 1 daily security in governed settlement. Governor and Captain take this one, otherwise take Counter-Offensive. And at 275, you have Tactical Mastery, which is for Army Commander, but you obviously can take it. It is plus 1% damage for every skill point above 225 tactics when troops are sent to confront an enemy. Personally, tactics not as useful. Scouting you can give it to a wonder. Now it's like Roguery. Roguery used to be broken if you use the exploit, but it's no longer there. But Roguery, if you have higher Roguery, it gives you more battle loot, right? If you want to know how to get your Roguery higher, do let me know and I will make a video on it, right? But let's talk about it. At 25, you have plus 20% daily experience gain from bandits in your party, and then plus 5 raid speed. For the other one, you have plus 20% chance for convincing bandits to leave in peace when bartering, and then minus 20% prisoner escape chance in governed settlement. Personally, none of them look good. If you are playing with bandits or like to raid, take no rest for the wicked. Governor, take the sweet talk. At 50, you have deep pockets, double the amount of betting allowed in tournaments, and personally minus 20% bandit troop wages. Or you can take Two-Faced, plus 50% increased chance of sneaking into towns, and no morale loss from converting bandit prisoners. At the start, take deep pockets, so you can get more money when you're doing tournaments through betting, and so you have to pay less wages to your bandit troops. But later, I would switch to two-faced. I'm doing roguery playstyle, so I can sneak into towns when I'm at war with them, and I'll have no morale loss when I'm converting betting prisoners. Right? At 75, you have in best site +1 extra troop from village notables when successfully forced for volunteers, and plus 20% village recovery rate. Or you get know-how. I apologize. You get plus 5% more loot from defeated villagers in caravans, and governor +1 daily security, or +1 security per day in government settlements. For governor, take know-how. Otherwise, still take know-how if you're fighting a lot of villages and caravans. At 100, you have Manhunter, plus 100% better deals with the ransom broker for regular troops, and plus 100 prisoner limit. We have Promises, minus 50% food consumption for bandit units in your party, and plus 30% recruitment rate from bandits prisoner in your party. Take Promises if you are using just bandit troops, right? Just so you use less food, which is not. The later stage is not bad, but so you can recruit your bandit troops faster. Right? At 125, Scarface, which is plus 3% chance for bandit villages and caravans to surrender, and Governor is plus 5% chance per day to increase relation with notable by 1 when you enter a town. And at the other one, it is White Lies. Plus 20% crime rating decrease rate, and for Governor, it's plus 2% chance to get relations per day with a random notable and government settlement. Personally, if you do a lot of crime, taking White Lies is not bad, but normally Scarface, just so you can get bandits and caravans to surrender, so you can recruit them, or for caravans so you can pillage them. At 150, you have Partners in Crime, which is surrender bandit party always offered to join, and then for Captain, plus 2% damage to bandit units by troops in your formation, where you get Smuggler Connection, plus 10 armor points to your to equip civilian body armor, and minus 50% trade penalty when you have crime rating. If you do a lot of prisoner escape and do a lot of crime in the town, taking over valleys or getting rid of the valleys, Smuggler Connection is great. Otherwise, Partner's Crime, so you can convert your bandit prison parties to join you. At 175, you have One of the Family, which is plus 10 bonus figure and control skills to bandit units in your party. For Governor, plus 1 recruitment style when recruiting from gang leaders. Or you have Sold the Earth, plus 20% more loot when villagers comply to hostile actions, and Governor plus 5% tariff revenue in government settlement. Take One of the Family. Say your bandit troops will get, especially if you're not converting them from bandits to regular, One of the Family. So they get more vigor and control skills, and you can recruit more stuff from the gang leaders. Right? That's why you take that. At 200, you have Carver, plus 10% damage with civilian weapons, and for Captain, plus 2% one-handed damage by troops under your formation. We have Ransom Broker, plus 25% better deals for heroes from ransom brokers, and for party leader, minus 30% chance to escape for hero prisoners. Normally, if you do again a lot of civilian fighting in doing alleyways and stuff like that, Carver is good. For Captain, it's also not bad, just so you can get more damage one-handed. If you do a lot of dealing with ransoms and stuff with brokers, Ransom Broker is amazing. Now at 225, you have Arms Dealer, minus 20% sell price penalty for weapons, and for Governor, plus 2% militia per day in besieged government settlement. And then Dirty Fighting, plus 50% stand duration for kicking, and for Governor, plus 2 random food will be smuggled to besieged government settlement. Well, Arms Dealer is not bad if you do a lot of selling of weapons, especially if you do smithing, right? And for Governor, also not bad, so you can get more militia. Other than that, Dirty Fighting, just so you can kick and stun the enemies for longer. Now it's a 50 of Dash and Slash, which is plus 50% damage bonus from speed while on foot, and for Captain, plus 2% two-handed weapon damage by troops under formation. And then you have Fleet-footed, plus 10% combat movement speed while no weapon or shield are equipped, and plus 30% escape chance when imprisoned by mobile parties. Get a lot of imprisonments, take Fleet-footed, otherwise take Dash and Slash. And at 275, you get Rogue Extraordinaire, plus 1% loot amount for every skill point above 200. It is pretty amazing, so you can get more loot, right? But Roguery is not amazing. Tax is not amazing. I wish Roguery was more useful. Cunning can give somebody else. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Do let me know what other stuff you want to see. And I will have another video out today. Will be the Garstein episode 3. But with all that said, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.